When I woke up today, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to talk about in today's video. I've been tossing around a few ideas all week, but nothing seemed to be right. And so I dug into my notes for past videos and courses and things like that I have gone through on how to improve your YouTube channel. And then I started doing some online searches, and then suddenly it hit me. This is the topic for today's video: how to pick topics for your YouTube videos. Hi, I'm Tina, and I am on week 6 of my YouTube growth and monetization journey. I hope that you have been with me all along. If you haven't, though, I will put that playlist up in the cards so you can go back to the beginning and catch up. I have been on YouTube for 3 years, and I reached my 1,000 subscriber milestone back in December of 2023, but I am still working to get those 4,000 hours of watch time. The way these videos work is I start out with a recap of last week's assignments. I share my screen and go through my analytics with you, and then I talk about the new topic for the week and give assignments for myself and you, if you want to play along, to work on through the week. Last week we talked about editing, and I didn't really give myself an assignment other than to really be conscious when I was editing my videos that the editing was serving the purpose of the video. It wasn't just gratuitous. It wasn't stuff flying in and out, that if there was B-roll or titles or whatever it was, that it was there to help with the message and with understanding. And I was very encouraged by the comments of so many of you who said you also prefer a slower pace of editing, a more relaxed video, that sometimes that fast-paced editing makes you feel anxious or keyed up. And when you come to YouTube, you just want to feel like you're sitting down and hanging out with a friend. And that fits my personality and what I hope to bring to this platform as well. Not only do I feel like it fits me better personality-wise, it fits me better skill-wise and helps me with my time management because it just doesn't take as long to edit the videos. So I'm just going to continue that. There's really no assignment. So instead, I'm going to jump back and talk about week 4's assignment. Week 4 was about camera presence and filming. And I didn't really get a chance to do the assignment that I had given myself during that week because it was just so busy. And that assignment was to watch 3 camera presence videos that I hadn't watched yet. And I did have the opportunity to do that this week. So what I did was I took notes and then I highlighted things that were new to me or said in a different way from what I had heard in camera presence videos that I have watched in the past. One of those videos was from Nolan Molt at Think Media. And while the idea of practicing isn't new, one of the ideas that he gave for how to practice is to video message your friends instead of just texting or whatever. Get in the habit of doing a quick video message, because when you're on camera, you really do kind of want to talk like you're talking to your friends, or specifically one friend. So if you do that on video messaging, you're going to build that muscle memory of what that feels like to just talk with one of your friends. I haven't done that yet, but I do really like the idea of it. So I may see if I can figure out a way to put that into practice, at least every now and then. Along the same lines, he mentioned bringing the personality to the camera that you have when you're sitting down talking with friends. And I think especially in an education type niche, which is, how to succeed on YouTube or my makeup and beauty stuff, the temptation is to get very presenterly and to put on this voice and this persona of someone who is in charge and someone who knows more and is therefore imparting this knowledge to you. And I don't want to feel that way. I want to feel like, hey, I found this stuff out and I want to share it with you because I think it's kind of cool or I think it might be helpful. And I'm still learning all of this too. So I never want to feel like I'm talking like down to people or at people, but that I'm just, sharing this cool stuff that I've discovered. Ali Abdaal was another one that I watched, and I think there's kind of a theme now that I'm looking at what I've circled here, because the one that I circled about him was where he said that he thinks about 2 modes of thinking about talking to the camera. And one of them was coffee mode. And that's the mode that you're in when you're meeting friends for coffee and you're just, shooting the breeze and telling jokes and that kind of thing, talking about your day, encouraging each other, whatever. And then the other one was more of presenter mode. One thing he said that I thought was really interesting, and I think I kind of mentioned this, except I used a percentage and he used points, is that the camera takes charisma points away from you. And he said, if you consider yourself that you have like charisma points of 5, that when you're on camera, that's going to go down to a 2. So if you have 7, it's going to go to a 5, 10, it's going to go to an 8, that kind of thing. But that the energy you bring and the charisma was the word that he used, you're going to be docked a couple of charisma points by the camera. And so where I was talking about how you kind of have to, have a little more energy than you would actually if you're sitting at the coffee shop, but without going over the top. So I thought that was just an interesting way of talking about a similar topic. Another thing that he said that I thought was very encouraging is that camera presence is not something you're born with. Like so many other things, it is a skill that you can learn and you can get better at it with practice. The third video I watched was from creator Sean Kitching, and he has a lot of great advice for small YouTubers. And it was fun and kind of validating because some of the things that were in this video of his were also things that I talked about in mine. And I am using some of the points that he made in his video in this one. And he talked about setting up your filming area and framing the shot. And some of the things that I thought were especially helpful in this video were how to create depth in your filming area. And one of the ways he said was to set your camera so that it's pointing into the corner of the room and then pull yourself as far out of that corner as you can and set up in the opposite corner of the room. Now, I'm not quite all the way across to the corner of this room, but I am pretty far out into the far center of it. And I really like the effect back here. I did film in this room before, and I think that it just looks better behind me in this one. Let me know what you think. Do you think this one looks better? He also talked about lighting, and this room is really bright. I have a window over there, and I also have the window behind me that you can see here. I do have shears over them, so it diffuses the lighting. It's also kind of an overcast day, so there isn't really bright light coming in. I do have my ring light in front of me as well to fill in, but unlike when I'm doing a makeup video, I don't have to have all of the shadows erased. So this side is a little bit darker, and that provides some contrast. I started out with the overhead light on, and that was a huge mistake because it created all kinds of shadows on my face. So make sure when you are videoing that you take a little test shot. Do 10, 15, 20 seconds of just, hanging out, chatting with the camera, whatever, and then play that back and see what it looks like. See where your shadows are. See if there's something odd in the background that you don't want there. And then you'll be ready to go and you won't get the whole video done and be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't see that. And also in lighting, I have this little desk lamp on here. And then I brought in a small desk lamp and just kind of aimed it at the wall because it was really dark over in this corner. And so that just kind of provided a little balance over there. And I also get to feature more of my Monstera because he's magnificent and he deserves to be featured. Can you see this leaf? This is my favorite leaf. This is the first one that he has produced that has fenestrations within the leaf, and he's very proud of it, and so am I. Okay, so that's enough about what I've learned this week about camera presence and setting up the shot. Let's go to my screen and we'll talk about my analytics. Welcome to my analytics for the past 7 days. This actually goes through July 26th, which is yesterday. Today is Saturday the 27th, and I will update my spreadsheet probably on Monday-ish with the revised totals. But one thing I'm going to show you when I get to my spreadsheet is that analytics numbers are constantly being revised. I don't know what YouTube does or why they change so much, but my week 5 stats changed a lot. So we're going to get into that, but for now, let's look at week 6 stats. And here you can see my views, my watch time, and my subscribers were all down. I knew this past week was not going to be as good as it has been. Views and all of that were down all week. So I was expecting these sad gray down arrows, and that's fine. There are ups and downs. I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm not feeling like nothing I'm doing is working. None of that. It just kind of is the yo-yo that is YouTube. I did have 1,000 views, 119.7 watch hours, and this says my subscribers increased by 4, but if you look at the actual count, which we'll do in a little bit, it actually went up by 6. Moving to the content tab, I had 17.2 thousand impressions, which was also down. My impressions click-through rate was 3.1%, which was about the same as what it was last week. And my view duration was 6 minutes and 9 seconds, and that is also about the same as it was last week. Before we leave the YouTube analytics, let's go down to the Earn tab and scroll down to see how I'm doing towards my monetization goals. Here you can see the 1,216 subscribers. Last week I had 1,210 at this time. So again, you can see that it went up by 6, not by 4. Don't know where YouTube was getting those numbers or what days they're doing the cutoff for. That's why those numbers are different. But I do have 3,557 public watch hours, which, good news, is actually an increase from last week. So I'm still going up. All right. Looking at my spreadsheet for the numbers that I'm keeping track of, this kind of peach color here is week 6. That's the week we're on right now. And you can see my watch hours increased by 48, which was a little bit less than they went up last week. And like I said, that was completely expected. And then the views, if you look at these numbers right here, these are the numbers that I reported in last week's video. But if you look at the numbers in blue, I put in the dates July 14th to July 20th in my analytics today, and these are the numbers that I got. That was significantly different than what was reported right after the week ended. 200 fewer views, 17 fewer watch hours, 3,000 fewer impressions. I don't know what criteria YouTube uses to review watch hours and impressions and that sort of thing, and why they change so dramatically. All I know is that you cannot get too wrapped up in the absolute numbers that YouTube is showing you. Trends and directions, sure, but to actually look at these numbers and think that they're any kind of something that's going to be firm that you can hold on to, it just doesn't happen. So, like I said, use them to determine trends. Are you going in the right direction? Do you need to maybe change something? But I will not hang my hat on the fact that I had 119.7 watch hours this week, because next week, if I look at this, it's going to be different. You know, if I put in July 14th to the 20th last week and I put in July 14th to the 20th this week, I wouldn't think those numbers would be that different, but they are. So the upshot of all of this is just don't get too wrapped up in the numbers and the analysis, because it's probably going to be different if you look at it a week from now or 2 weeks from now or whatever. Just spend a little bit of time looking at it so that you can see the trends and the direction, and then forget about it and get back to making content. So while this week was a little disappointing, it's not the end of the world. I'm not upset. I don't feel like, oh, nothing I'm doing is working. It is just the normal ups and downs that is YouTube. I am going to continue on. I'm going to continue trying to make every video better than the last one. And I have faith that eventually monetization is going to happen for me. So the topic of this week's video is how to select topics for your videos. So far in this journey, I've talked about my why, my goals, and the audience that I hope to reach. I talked about packaging, title, and thumbnail, and planning the video, especially the very important first 8 seconds, 30 seconds, and the outro. I've talked about filming and filming for the edit. I've talked about camera presence and editing. But if you don't have a winning topic, none of the rest of that matters, because you have to talk about something that people want to listen to. Typically, when you watch a video about choosing a topic, you're going to hear about Google Trends. And I guess Google Trends can be helpful, but I have not found it to be so for me. I find that it's very generic, and it doesn't really help me hone in on a specific topic. And so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of information on Google Trends, because it's out there and you can find it, because it's not something that I really use much. I think where it can be really helpful is when you're planning your niche, because if you are planning to talk to 40-somethings who are interested in growing banana plants in non-temperate climates, you might want to know if there's an audience for that before you actually go all in on that. There might be. I don't know. Are you guys out there? I just made that up off the top of my head. But when it comes to really getting into the specifics, that's not a tool that I turn to very often. What I do use is ChatGPT. The way I use ChatGPT is I will ask it, what are 10 common pain points for women over 50 when it comes to makeup or foundation, concealer, whatever the specific topic I want to hone in on is. And ChatGPT will spit out 10 pain points. Or I might say, give me 10 potential topics for a trending makeup video for women over 50. And they come up. And then I can look through those and see, do I feel like I can speak to any of those? Do I agree that that's a pain point or a common concern or whatever, and make a video on it? Sometimes what it gives me actually sparks an idea in my brain that it didn't give me, and that's good too. Another way to come up with topics is to look to others in your niche and look at the videos that they have that did well. If you have the vidIQ extension on your browser when you're doing this, it will give you a multiplier, and that makes it a whole lot easier because you don't have to go through a whole bunch of videos to see which ones are outliers. An outlier is something that did significantly better than the other videos on the channel, or that got a whole lot more views than they have subscribers. You can, when you're looking at someone's YouTube channel, go to the video tab and sort by most popular. And that will give you videos that have gotten the most views for them on their channel. But you also want to be careful and make sure that you're looking at stuff that's contemporary. I wouldn't go more than 6 months to a year old, maybe, and choose from that. Now, you don't want to just copy what they did, but you probably have something unique and interesting and a different twist that you can put on that same topic. If you went and searched right now why you need to start a YouTube if you're 40 years old, there are tons of videos about them. I might make one. I don't know. I'm not going to make one just like everybody else because I'm not everybody else. I have my own unique view of the world and reasons why I think that might be a good idea. So looking at videos that have done well for your competitors can be a good way to get ideas on videos that might do well for you. Another way to get ideas from other creators in your niche is to go to their comments section and read the questions that their viewers are asking of them, and then make a video to answer that question. This goes to one of the strategies that Think Media teaches in its 1K YouTube Challenge course. I've gone through that twice, and this strategy was to answer specific questions. Your audience has questions, and if you answer them, you meet a need, and they will want to watch it. And as I said, these videos will address pain points that your audience has, answer questions that they have asked in other videos or in your videos. It can be really powerful to say, this question was asked of me, and I am taking the time in this video to answer that question. Because generally, if one person has a question, there are other people out there who also have the same question. Another strategy taught by Think Media in that course is to teach specific skills. These videos generally have titles like How To, or X for Beginners, or X Tutorial. You want to be specific and don't overload too many things into one video. This creates searchable content and evergreen content that continue to bring you views year after year after year. And the third strategy taught in the YouTube 1K Challenge is to review specific products. This is really helpful, especially if you are in an affiliate program. And when you're not yet monetized, if you can get into affiliate programs, it's a way you can start making money to support your channel, because depending on your niche, it can get really expensive reviewing products if you have to buy them all yourself. I don't think it needs to be said, but I would add the caution to make sure you're reviewing products that you actually use and like, because your integrity and the audience's trust in you is something that once it's lost, it's really hard to get it back. So be very conscious that if you're going to be talking about a product, especially if you're going to be earning affiliate income on it, that you actually have or would buy that product with your own money, that you like it and trust it enough that you would actually recommend for your mom to use it, or your dad or your brother or something like that, somebody close to you, and that you're not just selling products that you don't believe in. I am currently in the Amazon affiliate program, and I also am in the Shop My program. I really like Shop My for beauty and fashion because it's one place where you can get all of your links. They don't have everything, which is why I also have it Amazon. You can do it that way through kind of a clearinghouse type of affiliate, or you can go to individual brands and apply for their affiliate programs. I do have a link that if you're interested in checking out Shop My and you want to go through my link, it's down there. Yep, it's an affiliate link. And I would appreciate if, after hearing it from me and checking it out, you decide that you would like to join too, that you'd use my link. So one of the assignments in the 1K YouTube Challenge that I did back then and then forgot about is to come up with 5 to 10 of the best and easiest videos for you to produce on your YouTube channel. And the easiest part is so that you will get in there and do it. I have some ideas for videos that are going to take a little more research and a little more time to produce. But I don't want that to completely derail my upload schedule. And so I think it's going to be really helpful to have a list of videos that are easier for me to produce, that I can get up and keep things happening on my channel. And so that in the background, then I can be working on these more difficult videos without just stalling all of my momentum and not having things to upload. And so my assignment this week is to come up with that list. My other assignment this week is to begin the process of batch filming some of those videos so that I can get ahead in my content calendar so that I have a little time then to devote to those videos that are going to take a little more time. So 2 assignments, a list, and begin the process of batch filming. I have done batch filming in the past where I filmed like 4 videos on one day. It's crazy. It's intense. I'm usually kind of like this with the tension by the time I'm done. But it is really nice when I get those weekends where I have absolutely no time to film to have one that I can still edit. And I haven't been in that place in a really long time. So I want to get there. And I really want to get to a place where I have a couple weeks of videos uploaded, scheduled, ready to go, so that I am not constantly feeling like I am behind and trying to catch up. And if I have a couple of days where I cannot do the things that are on my content calendar, that it doesn't just completely throw a wrench in the whole works. Today, we are celebrating my husband's birthday and all of the kids and my grandbabies coming over. I have some cooking to do, so I'm going to get out of here and let you all go on your way too. Please let me know what you think of my setup here. It is definitely cooler in here than it is outside, and while walking might have been fun, this was way more comfortable. If you're on your own growth journey, please let us know down in the comments so we can all go over, check out your channel, and support you. Let me know your biggest win and your biggest disappointment this week. I want to cheer for you and encourage you. This community of over 50 creators is amazing and supportive and wonderful, and I'm so glad to know so many of you. All right, I'm wandering into Midwest goodbye territory here. It's time for me to get out of here. I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.